Okay, so today we're going to finish up section 1 from chapter 2, so 2.1b. Today we're going to be writing equations of a line. Now, you're going to be given your information several different ways. So either I'm going to give you a slope and a y-intercept, or I'm going to give you a slope and a point. If I give you a slope and a point, we have two different options. We can either plug it into y equals mx plus b, find the b, and then plug it back in, or plug it into point slope, distribute, combine like terms. So either way, when you're given the slope and a point, you can also be given two order pairs or 2 points, and you're going to have to first find the slope using the slope formula, and then you can plug either point, it doesn't matter which one you choose, into either the slope-intercept form of the equation or the point slope. Now, when you're doing the web-assigned homework tonight, all answers should be in slope-intercept form. Some of them, there's 12 questions, half of them have graphing in them. So again, if you figured out how to graph, wonderful. If not, screenshot it, put the question in Notability and graph it there. Okay, so here's our first scenario where they gave us the slope and the y-intercept. So then all we need to do here is remember the slope-intercept form of the equation is y equals mx plus b. Remember m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. So all I'm going to do is take out that m and b, put in a 3 for the m and the 5 for the b, and I'm done. Now, when they give you an order pair, this is where we have the two options. We can either plug it into y equals mx plus b or plug it into point slope. And I'm going to show you both methods. You can choose. Now, you may get a question where they're going to say, leave your answer in slope-intercept form, or leave it in point slope, or leave it in standard form. When you go to take the test on this, just make sure you're reading which form you're expected to leave your answer in. Now, when you're doing the web-assigned homework, and let's say the question was, given a slope of 4 and an order pair of 0, 1, remember that the y-intercept always has a 0 first in the order pair. Now, you can go through the whole long process that I'm going to teach you on numbers 2 and 3, but if you realize that this is your y-intercept, then all you have to do is y equals 4x plus 1. Now, if you didn't realize that this order pair was the y-intercept, then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you first using slope-intercept, finding the b, and then putting everything back. Then I'm going to do the same problem, but I'm going to use point slope. So first I'm going to do is take my y equals mx plus b. Now, here's the problem. When we're doing slope-intercept, this order pair is going to represent x and y. But when I do point slope, that order pair becomes the x1, y1. So just make sure that you keep them straight, what you're plugging in. So when I do slope-intercept, I'm going to take out the y, put in the 5, take out the m, put in the -2, and then put the x right next to the -2. It's being multiplied. And now I need to solve for b. So I'm going to multiply. -2 times 4 is -8. Then I'm going to add the 8 to the other side. And the b, or the y-intercept of my equation, is 13. Now I got to go back to this, and now I'm going to replace the m and the b, the m with what was originally given to me, and the b that I just calculated. So the final answer here is y equals -2x plus 13. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So to modify this equation I just got and get it in standard form, all I need to do is move the 2x to the other side. And now my answer is in standard form. So this is standard. However, in tonight's WebAssign, everything's in slope intercept. So this is option 1. Option 2 would be to use the point slope form. So I'm going to take the same problem. I'm going to come over here to the side. And now point slope, remember, is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Now, the order pair that was given to me isn't x and y when I use this formula. This 4, 5 is now x1, y1. But the m is still an m. So I'm going to plug in y minus 5 equals negative 2, x minus 4. Now I need to distribute and then add the 5 because I want to get y by itself. So y minus 5 equals negative 2x plus 8. Add the 5, and now it goes right into slope-intercept form. Same answer I got when I use the y equals mx plus b. You can use either option. Now, let's say the test question said, leave your answer in point slope form. Then all you would have to do is take your information, put it in here, and stop. So if it said point slope, that's all you do. You take this, replace this, this, and this, and you're done. Pretty good? Let's try the next question. Same type of given. Only difference is my slope is a fraction. So let's go ahead and replace. I'm going to do point slope. So y. Now, be very careful also when your order pair has a negative in it, because a negative negative is going to make it become positive. But this is x1, this is y1 in my order pair. So y minus 2, slope is 2/3, x minus negative 1. So in this parentheses, this negative negative, I'm going to simplify it and make it become x plus 1. Now, if the question said point slope, we're done. However, in the WebAssign, it's going to say slope intercept. So I need to distribute, and then I need to add the 2. So I'm going to distribute the 2/3. So I get y minus 2 equals 2/3 x plus 2/3. I'm going to move it over here so I have more room. And now I need to just add the 2. And I get y equals 2/3 x. Now notice both of my signs are the same, so this is just 2 and 2/3. Now, if you would have preferred to change this so it has a common denominator, I can change the 2 into a 6/3. And you can also enter it. WebAssign will accept improper fractions. So 2/3 x plus 8/3. When you go to graph it, you're going to want to make it a mixed number. So when I would go to graph this, my first point is going to be between 2 and 3 because it's 2 and 2/3. This is the last scenario where you're given 2 order pairs. So first thing I need to do is calculate the slope. So I'm going to use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 6 minus 4 over 5 minus 2. And the slope of my line is 2/3. And now I can choose either point slope or slope intercept. So I'll do point slope again. Y minus y1, m, x minus x1. So when you do this, you can choose whichever order pair you want. You're going to get the same answer either way once you distribute. So I'm going to just choose the first one. I'll use this one. So y minus 4, 2/3 times x minus 2. I got to distribute. And I get negative 4/3. Yes?
Wouldn't the negative 4 be a positive 4? Oh, wait, never mind.
Add the 4. Y equals 2/3 x. Now I need to find a common denominator here because my signs are different. So I'm going to change my 4 into 12/3. Because I could put a 1 here. Common denominator is 3 times the bottom by 3 times the top by 3. So then I'm adding negative 4/3 plus 12/3, which gives me 8/3. Now, let's say the question said, put it in standard form. The other one was easy because they were integers. Remember, standard form, the x, the number in front of x has to be positive, and there can't be any fractions or decimals. So let's say now they want us to convert this answer into standard form. What I'm going to do is take the equation, and I'm going to get rid of the denominator. So I'm going to multiply the whole thing by 3. And then this gives me 3y equals 2x plus 8. Now, if I move the 2x over, then I have to go back and divide everything by negative 1 because the number in front of x needs to be positive. So then standard form of this is going to be positive 2x minus 3y equals negative 8. So either way. Now, if you don't like using point slope, we could have also done this same problem using slope intercept after we calculated the slope. Now they want us to make an equation of a horizontal line passing through the order pair 4, 7. Now, you should memorize that a horizontal line is always y equals. And whatever that y is going to equal is going to be the y of the order pair. So horizontal, y equals 7. Vertical, remember, is the up and down line. It goes through the x-axis. It's going to be x equals, and it's the x of the order pair. Remember, a vertical line has an undefined slope. Horizontal has a slope of 0. Now, you could go through the whole process. If you realize that the slope here is going to be 0, and then over here it's undefined, you could go through the whole process if you want, but it's easier to memorize that whenever it's a horizontal line, it's y equals, and you just take the y of the order pair. When it's vertical, it's x equals, and it's the x of the order pair. So when they say to write your equations on the homework tonight, this is how you're going to do it. You'll enter it as y equals, whatever number it is, and then x equals if it's vertical. Next, we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Here comes our geometry again. And again, my geometry class just had a test on this on last week, I guess. So what you need to memorize are parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So one will be positive, one will be negative, and then they're going to be fractions flipped upside down. So let's try some examples of writing equations when they're parallel and perpendicular. So we're going to be given 2 answers for each of these. Now, first thing I need to do is take my given equation and I need to find the slope of the line. So I'm going to rewrite it into y equals mx plus b form. Another thing you can do is realize that that equation is in standard form and the slope is always negative a over b if you wanted to do it that way. But I always like to go ahead and put it into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract the 2x. And let me do it darker so it shows up better. Subtract 2x from both sides. And then divide everything by negative 3. So y equals, and then be careful on the negative negative. Negative divided by a negative makes this 2/3 become positive. Now, really, I don't need the y-intercept. All I need to pull out of this is the slope. So to answer part A, for a parallel line, I'm going to use exactly the same slope of the equation that was given to me. So my slope will be 2 over 3. And then here's my ordered pair, 2 comma negative 1. So now at this point, you can either do slope-intercept, find the b, and then plug it back in, or do point-slope. Either option you can use. But if you use point-slope, remember you got to distribute and then combine like terms and get it into slope-intercept. So let's go ahead and do point-slope because I think that might be the form that many of you may have not have seen before. So again, be careful with this negative. So y minus negative 1 equals 2/3 x minus 2. I'm going to simplify the negative negative, make this become y plus 1. I'm also going to distribute the 2/3. And now I have to move the 1. Subtract 1 from both sides. I'm going to change that 1 into a 3 over 3. So then the answer here is going to be y equals 2/3 x minus 7/3. Now I'll do the perpendicular. So for the perpendicular line, and I'll do it over here to the side. Everybody good on the part A? Let me slide it over. So for part B, for the perpendicular, remember perpendicular, it looks like an upside down T. That's what the symbol for perpendicular is. So the perpendicular slope from here, opposite sign, so it's going to be negative. And then I flip the fraction upside down. So the slope I'm using is negative 3 over 2. I'm still using the same order pair. So now I do y minus negative 1. What I'm switching now is the m. I'm going to simplify that negative negative, distribute. So we'll actually just simplify into plus 3. Move the 1. And y equals negative 3 over 2, x plus 2. And you're done. One last example. So I have lots of room. All right, so I'm going to just work it down here in the white area. So 5x minus 3y equals 8. I'm taking this equation and I'm going to put it into y equals mx plus b form so I can get the slope of the line. So I'm going to subtract 5x. Negative 3y equals negative 5x plus 8. Divide everything by negative 3. And again, negative negative becomes positive 5/3 x minus 8/3. So now the slope for part A, for the parallel, I use the same number, 5/3. The order pair I'm using is negative 4, 1. Now I know I did a bunch of point slope, so let me go ahead and do slope intercept, just to give you options here. So let's say instead I want to plug it into this, find the b, and then plug it back in. Again, either way works. So 1 equals 5/3 times negative 4/1 gives me negative 20/3. I need to add 20/3 to both sides. I could change this whole number 1 into 3/3. So 23/3 is my b. So my equation that will be parallel to this one is going to be y equals, take the slope you got, 5/3, and now take the b you just got and put it back. For WebAssign, you can enter your answer as an improper fraction. For graphing purposes, you're going to need to know approximately where to put that y-intercept. But as far as typing in the equation, it can be improper. Okay, we're still not done. We still need to change this into the perpendicular line. So for the perpendicular part, we're going to take the slope that we found, change the sign, and flip the fraction upside down. So the slope for the perpendicular line is going to be negative 3/5. Again, I can do slope intercept form like I just did, or I can do point slope. So again, if I do slope intercept again, y equals mx plus b. So again, I'm using the order pair negative 4, 1. So 1 equals negative 3/5 times negative 4/1. 1 equals 12/5. Subtract 12/5. Again, I can change this whole number 1 to a common denominator. I'll make it 5/5. So now it turns into negative 7/5. That's my b. And now I put it all back. So y equals negative 3/5 x minus 7/5. And you're done. Now, I noticed on the last question it said to do number 8 in standard form. I'm just going to do this one because number 8 was number 8. So if I wanted to change this answer into standard form, what I would do is take the y equals mx plus b form, get rid of the fractions. So I can either move the 3/5 first. I'm going to just clear the fraction first. So I'm going to times everything by 5. So it becomes 5y equals negative 3x minus 7. And then now I need the x plus y equals the constant. So add 3x. So standard form would be 3x plus 5y equals negative 7. So no fractions, no decimals. And the x term needs to be positive when you write it in standard form. However, all answers tonight will be in slope intercept. But again, for the test, be able to write any of your answers in any of the 3 forms. Any questions? All right, so go ahead and you can start your WebAssign. It's due Monday at 8 a.m. And Tomas, can you